Here we are. Okay, crime fighters, here we are in Victim's Voice, and as a result, when I'm on Victim's Voice, I have to be calm and semi-likable, and so that's what I do. And with us today is Brandy Durman. Brandy Durman she didn't make it to the second-class citizen luncheon because, did you sleep late?
No, I had to work.
Okay.
I had to work.
Yeah, and she has been instrumental in getting legislation passed that's, we hope, a first step in which manslaughter is no longer perceived as a nonviolent crime. And Brandy is a hero. I'm sorry to have met Brandy, because in order to have met Brandy really, her husband, Officer Brian Durman, was run over and killed by a guy named Glenn Donahue, who is presently in prison. Now, Brandy, thanks for all you do. You're the best.
Thank you.
Now, tell us what you're doing.
With school?
Anywhere. Yeah.
I start graduate school at the University of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting my degree in social work so that I can help other victims of crime.
Right.
And specifically, I really want to work with children that are victims of trauma and crime.
Well, tell me what it was that caused. I know what you've been through. You've been through your own version of trauma, and you've seen your son Braden go through what happens, and it's heartbreaking to hear you tell some of the stories about Braden wanting to know where his dad is, and you haven't told him he's not coming home. So what is it? How did you make the decision to do this? Because you were headed in an entirely different direction.
Yes, I was actually a radiography student when Brian was killed. And through this whole experience of him being killed, I met Mary Houlihan here at your office. And I learned a little bit about what she did and her role as a social worker here and as a victim's advocate. And she helped us go through the court process and made it as seamless as possible. She definitely alleviated a lot of the pain and suffering that would normally go with that. And she really inspired me to head that direction myself, because I feel like having personal experience gives me a little something to contribute, and I can definitely empathize with victims of crime.
Oh, that's great. And you are a hero, and Mary just walked into this studio. And so, Mary, come on up here and act like we all know what we're doing. And Blarina over here is trying to catch all of this. So what's so special about Brandy, in your opinion?
Brandy amazed me from the nightmare during which I met her. I've told her I still can't get over her poise in the aftermath of everything she was dealing with. It's one thing to have lost your husband in the violent and tragic way that she did, but because of his involvement with the police and all sorts of different agencies that kind of swooped in the way that they felt like was helping, there was an awful lot of people and family, and I've never seen anything like it, and she just seemed to be the calm in the middle of the storm, to be honest. She had a lot of supportive family members. I'm not saying that they weren't being supportive, but everybody, when they're trying to help, can sometimes make a situation even more chaotic. And somehow in the middle of all of it, she just remained calm and kind of kept focusing on what to do next, what was the next step, which is really the smartest thing that you try and get victims to do, but she just did it naturally. So she gives me a lot of credit, but she taught me so much during this process. It's amazing.
Well, there you go. Any rate, she's getting ready to start the master. Is it the master's program? Yeah, we're so proud of her. And this is Victim's Voice, and I'm Ray Larson, trying to stay as calm as I can in Victim's Voices.